Ahoy, shipmates! It's a very early morning here in the port of Southampton. Slightly overcast and cloudy, with a little breeze. But first time for me visiting the port of Southampton is the Empress of the Seas. She's just returning to the port of Southampton from the Caribbean. In fact, it's the Cococay Island that she's come from. The Cococay Island is available exclusively for the Royal Caribbean cruises. It's a very small island that the cruise ships dock at. It's only a mile wide and 183 metres long, with a population of 38. It's just for the cruise ships to stop at and for everyone to go ashore and have some fun. Perhaps one day we'll be able to go to the Cococay Island and see what it's all about. I think we have a photo opportunity coming up there. It's a pity the cloud was so thick this morning. It really has knocked out any nice sunrises that would have been there. The weather has been a bit unpredictable lately, the last 5 or 6 days. Unlike time before, we had glorious blue skies and warm weather. The last 5 or 6 days it's been a bit changeable. We've had some rain and some quite strong winds. I think you can just about see the sun reflecting on the water here, just working hard to try and burn through those clouds. I've not been able to get out of my hammock and take many pictures recently, due to a combination of the wind and the rain, and also not feeling particularly brilliant. I was feeling a little salty. I decided I'd go and have one of those COVID-19 tests. I was feeling out of sorts. Luckily it came back negative, but I had to self-isolate during that period. It was an interesting experience having the tests done. It was conducted at the local football stadium, St Mary's Stadium. In the car park were a number of gentlemen in camouflage uniforms who gave you instructions at a distance. They swabbed your mouth, swabbed your nose, dropped it into a little packet, and gave it back to them. And, mere 48 hours later, got a little email saying negative. Quite the experience. But less of my prattling, and perhaps I should talk more about the Empress of the Seas. She's had a few names over the years. Originally ordered as Future Seas, and then when launched, Nordic Empress. And then in 2004 to 2008, she was Empress of the Seas. In 2008 to 2016, she was just Empress. And from 2016 to today, she's gone back to Empress of the Seas. Also been registered in a number of different ports. Monrovia in Liberia, Nassau in Bahamas, Valletta in Malta, and then back to Nassau in the Bahamas. She was launched in August 1989 and was christened by Gloria Estefan. She's an Empress class cruise ship, weighing in at 48,500 tons, a length of 210 metres, and a beam of 30. There are 9 passenger decks. Speed is 19.5 knots, 36 kilometres an hour, or 22.4 miles per hour in old-fashioned Imperial. Capacity is 1,840, with a crew of 668. I think I can see one of those natty rock climbing walls on the stern of the ship. I can also see the IMO number on the top. Very handy if you forget it, I suppose. You can nip upstairs and read it off the top. There are a number of cruise ships in the port at the moment. It's suddenly become a bit of a busy day. Most of them are coming in and out and going back to Weymouth or the Nab Anchorage. I'm going to squeeze a photo in here. Yeah, it's just not quite got the light this morning. It's a shame. It's only a mere few minutes away, and the sun would really liven up the scene. I thought perhaps a little shore footage might entertain as well. She was one of the first cruise ships to be designed for the mainstream cruising market for 3 to 4 day cruises. Initially her itinerary was from Bahamas. In June of 2001, while under the name of Nordic Empress, she suffered an extensive engine room fire damage while sailing 140 miles north of Bermuda. Subsequent investigation revealed the cause of the fire was a failure of a loose bolt in the fuel line flange assembly that had been improperly repaired. The broken bolts caused the flange assembly to separate, allowing fuel to leak around the engine. Moments after a low fuel pressure alarm sounded in the engine room, the leaking fuel ignited against the hot engine surfaces, causing a large explosion that was visible on the engine room's CCTV. The engines were stopped immediately and all fuel pumps were switched off. Crew members attempting to enter the engine bay area to fight the fire with hoses were forced to turn back from the intense heat. 6 minutes into the fire, the engine room overhead fire sprinkler system was activated along with the ship's general emergency alarm. The sprinklers appeared to have extinguished the fire after 4 minutes, and crew once again attempted to enter the engine area, only to have the residual fuel in the engine area ignite in a flash fire that was quickly extinguished with the fire hoses. During the subsequent investigation of the engine room and surrounding areas, burning wires were discovered in adjacent compartments. The space was evacuated before lowering watertight doors and releasing 885 kilograms of halon gas and restarting the overhead sprinklers. 3 hours after the fire first broke out, the incident was resolved. The ship was able to return to Bermuda under reduced power and subsequently taken out of service for 2 weeks for repairs. Total expenses and loss of revenue related to the fire totaled more than $8.8 million. As you can see, there are a number of ships in the port at the moment. That's the far end in the container area. We have a whopper. I would have filmed the MOL container ship coming in, the MOL Tribute, but alas, she came in at the middle of the night when it was dark, and my filming quality at night time is not very good. In the very distance, you can just about make out the red funnel, is the Carnival Breeze. Back in port again, I believe from the Nav anchorage area. And in front of the Carnival Breeze, you can probably just about make out, is Dilbar. Now Dilbar, depending on your metrics, is either the 6th or 3rd largest super yacht in the world. I hope to get some shots of Dilbar leaving port later. Quite a spectacular super yacht. Not often we see those in the port of Southampton. And just in front of Empress of the Seas is the Grande Mediterraneo, a ro-ro carrier, roll-on, roll-off carrier. These are very popular in the port of Southampton. Lots of vehicle movements in and out. Some automotive, some commercial tractors and some agricultural machinery. Lots of exciting things going on and off the ships. And the popular novel that was made into a film, the World War Z, the Nordic Empress, was found and heavily infested by zombies, drifting in the Sea of Senegal. Almost like zombie ships today, plying their courses randomly between here and the Nav anchorage or here in the Weymouth Bay. I'm led to believe that the Empress of the Seas is repatriating crew. For the summer of 2020, the Empress of the Seas is based in Bayonne, New Jersey, Boston, in the United States, where she is operating cruises between Canada, Bermuda and New England. I don't suspect many have taken place this year. Latest reports suggest that some of the larger cruise operators are not considering operations until October 2020. As you can see, she's coming into the City Cruise Terminal. The light is slowly improving. I feel it's possibly an opportunity to see if I can get a decent shot in. And you can see IKEA in the background. You know the pandemic is over when IKEA is open. I'm not sure what the queues are like at our IKEA, but other IKEAs around the country have reported queues of up to 5 hours. You queue for 5 hours to assemble your own furniture. I'm sure that someone can explain that to me. I think I'm going to come round here to the bow. The sky is livening up a bit, so unusually I'm going to drop a bit lower and sort of shoot up and see if I can bring some colour into the picture, rather than the sort of grey of the sea, the white of the ship, and the little speckles of rust down the side. There are a few shipmates on board wandering around. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can get something from here. Well, it's not perfect, but it's one of the better shots of the day, I think. A mere half an hour after I took these shots, the sun came up wonderfully and was a really beautiful light to the port, but unfortunately I have to use what I've got. Well, time for me to go, have my crumpets. Until next time, shipmates.